local recording is started. So everyone, this is going to be game 2 of the Star Battle EU6 Freelancer Tournament Finals. 3M versus Freelancer Lions. I have to like pause over the name. So many lions or rebellions and all that. Uh, so, um,
Well, let you know we're ready, okay?
yeah, we're ready. Let them know. So last game basically was actually a very short game, but it was a very interesting game, as Ladanian put it. So Freelancer Lions did take the first thing. There was an interesting push, like a heavy commit by the Destros to make the first kill, and now we are starting again.
So we'll see what kind of strategies the two teams pick. You kind of have a couple options when you're in this one game down situation. You can try to counter basically what you've seen before, as Stone Cold would put it, play the other team's game, or you can just go with something you know you'll be comfortable with.
And here we go. So, yes, we get to see the old car comp again from we get to see old car comp again from 3M. So that means it's a Leviathan, an Overlord, basically a mishmash of many different ships. There's the spin, Luigi. I caught the spin. I'm catching the
Okay.
spin. He gives me hell if I don't. So Sea Stone is actually going to be verified. From the top, we've got double Destro on the outside, double
It's
5
the
armor
exact
Destro.
same comp from
Yep,
last
same
game.
comp. With a Raven coming up behind. This time, though, the player lineup has changed up a bit. Stone Cold is the Raven, Admin Sticks the Levy, Ultimate Theory, and Verified as the Guardians in the middle.
And on the
Rebellion's
red team, duality has been switched out for existential.
yeah, and Pama was not in last game. Also, Ultimate Theory wasn't, I don't believe.
So this is interesting. I haven't seen too many games with the old car build this tournament, but Luigi has open Corruptors on the sideline as opposed to Admin 6 on the other team who went a more standard levy build.
Yeah, this is how I saw 3M play the old car twice before. So the way they're running this comp is with the Corruptor Levy, but with the double Destro on the outside with them, that could be a problem. They have to switch.
And Pama is just stopped in the middle there for a second. I guess he's just getting his lasers on those Corruptors. I think attempting to launch on the Corruptor, and now he launched on the levy instead.
And Riker was missed in that EMP, but the Existential was caught out on that.
So, for people watching this game and wondering how this old car comp works, here's basically a good rule of thumb. Support ships, they can be effective in terms of dealing AoE damage, but you can really neutralize them by not stacking up. So if the team that you're playing against plays right, it starts off pretty weak in the beginning, and you can be pushed by kiting ships and Destros. So what they need to do as the red team is basically just hang in this game and slowly farm, and even if they get behind on farm, the hope is that over time, those spells from those support ships will actually make them stronger than the other team.
Yep. This is basically an early, this double Destro, if they were in the middle, it would be more of an early game comp. Basically trying to get the win in the early or the mid game, but old car is definitely a mid to late game comp. Hoping that the Leviathan Luigi gets really fat, the carrier gets tons of farm, gets powerful ints, and then basically everyone gets all their ultimates and key spells, and possibly a siege from Beggy the Destro.
Now, the blue team is not totally out of luck here. They do have a Raven, which of course is great energy denial. But you got to think, that means they have exactly one energy denial ship, which is really very low. Whereas, the other team has at least three things that you're going to really want to EMP and black out. Most compositions, you're going to have a BC or two, you're going to have a carrier, even an overlord, things where in a pinch, you can energy deny with it.
Yeah.
So if they don't get a kill on the Rebellion's team, it's going to get harder as the game goes on.
They definitely need to get that early kill, and I would say the Raven would be a really tasty target for that, just simply because of the EMP and the energy deny on him.
That would be incredible. So just a quick farm count. Right now we're at 620 on the red team and 700 on the blue team. About what you'd expect. Both teams have been fighting in the middle. Nobody has really won the push, but the blue team has been pushing a little bit harder.
And now
So
actually
about
the
what
red
you'd
team's
expect.
pushing at the top really hard, but it looks like it wasn't really a true push, it's just these Destros are going back and getting upgrades.
Exactly. If I were on the red team, here's what I would be thinking right now. Why are we pushing them? Why are they going back? They don't have to go back. They're all at full health, except for the Destros, who were mostly at full health. So they're basically going to go back and upgrade, possibly set up a warp trick. And you see that the red team is actually in full retreat, even though it's 6 ships on 3 or 5 ships on 3. They're basically worried about some kind of warp in with Destros that have
Yep.
healed up and have any kind of spells on them.
And here the Destros are warping in. Warping in on Admin 6. Warping on Admin 6 the levy just to push Luigi, because if they don't deny Luigi from getting farm quickly, those Corruptors will help him get really fat very quickly. And even the Corruptors themselves would be a big threat. Warlass are warping in 9 ints now. He's going for the ints.
As far as I can tell, the only thing that the Destros got was 2 lasers each and warp. They didn't get any additional speed, didn't get any additional range, no hull even, which, it's not ideal. You definitely want to be able to get hull on your first Bacchus Destro. We're getting some mad pings going on the map here.
Yeah. But look at how Luigi's been denied thus far. He's only got 80 farm score.
Wow. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. You know, the levy on your team has to be farmed. I mean, granted, War is farming really well in his lane, so to some extent he's just been trading one for the other, but let's see, how is the levy on the other team doing? Admin 6, 242 farm to Beggy's 112. Although, I have to say, we saw a similar dynamic last game where at certain points Ivana Paula
was ahead of Beggy.
Was actually ahead maybe by like 50% or more, and then Beggy eventually caught up, and this time I guess it's Luigi. And you know, just a reminder for the audience, the comp on the red team, you expect to go down on farm. In some ways, they're really not doing as bad as they could be.
Nope, they're actually doing quite well. No one's died. There actually haven't been really any close calls at all, so everyone's playing very conservative.
Luigi pushing a little bit with those Corruptors, trying to get back up to the other team. Admin 6 looked like he was going back, but I guess not.
So we have double Scourge from the Guardians on the blue team. Those Mukes, and they're going to probably try to snipe or heavily damage some of these support ships, because they're basically like floating paper. Even Luigi right now, he only just got his 2 tentacles. All he has is his Corruptors and the 400 energy, nothing else, and his 1.6 speed.
It's an interesting choice, this double Scourge. You're able to push with it, you're able to harass the smaller ships, and you're also able to force a little bit more spell casting that they don't want. You're going to have to start using some storms on Scourge. You're going to have to start using some EMPs on the guards instead of the Raven. So it's kind of evening up the spell casting battle a little bit and forcing the red team to spend spells where they don't want to spend them.
Acknowledging that while they have more spells and more energy deny, hey, you know what? We're going to make it really difficult for you guys to prioritize what you want to deny. Make your job a little bit more difficult. So it's going to be more interesting for Riker and for Bunny. The Raven and the Arbiter.
Just before that, kind of a whiff of an EMP from Riker. He had 2 ships in his target. He wanted to get both. He ended up getting neither. That time he got Stone Cold.
Yeah. But Stone Cold has 75 more energy, so his regen's going to be better. Riker's going to need to go back. This is the war of the energy regeneration between these Ravens, and they'll be basically just trying to EMP each other the entire game.
So Admin 6 was able to use his superior range and bile to push Luigi all the way back, and now is coming up the middle and trying to harass some of the other ships. Admin 6, believe it or not, he's already at 10 range, whereas Luigi is at the standard 7 range. He's just going for this much slower spawn comp, which takes more time to pay off. He has 400 energy.
Yep, and Admin 6 already has 15,000 health, compared to, say, the base starting, which is only 13,000. So this kit not only gives you extra health, through which the armor applies to the entire HP base. There are no shields on Leviathans. You also get the extra life regen. And he has rapid regen in addition, so he's definitely playing the I can stay out a long time, kill your Corruptors as long as I want tactic. And Luigi getting pushed back by the double Scourge. D-shield from Riker, that is definitely going to be useful to help against the Scourge.
That is the right upgrade to go at this point against double Scourge.
Yep.
Oh, and look, Beggy is pushing hard on Verified. He will get a kill here if he decides to commit, but will he? I
don't think so. With Rebellions behind, the rest of his team not there, I don't think this is a good trade.
He's going for this kill. Oh, this is not a good trade. They
Double
have the
Scourge.
They're going to
Beggy's
be
going to
able
go
to
down
clear
after
him.
this. He's got the Scourge, Protective Field, D-Shield.
He hit the prop field a
Where's the
little bit late.
D-Shield?
Can we get a good play
Where's the
here?
D-Shield from Riker? No D-Shield. Where's the D-Shield? There we
There's the
go.
Matrix, but
That
what's
was
the
late.
cooldown? It's still at the basic 22-second cooldown. He's not going to be able to hit it for another
Nope.
10 seconds.
He
It's
should
not
have done
gonna
it
be enough.
earlier.
Oh,
E-Shield. Oh, E-Shield. Oh, pop it. Go, go, go.
Just hit it.
Oh my gosh, Riker, you're giving us heart attacks. But if he did pop it when I first said
But
use
Ultima,
D-Shield.
oh, will Ultima Theory make it back?
How much
I think he will.
HP do you need
Well,
before you
I don't know,
burn?
it depends on your... You know what?
He's gonna die.
He's actually not going to make it.
That's a sad way to go.
Wow.
What an exchange there.
I think you cannot see a close exchange than that. The D shield popping at the exact second they needed to. The E shields, I mean, boy,
Yep.
he was really just seconds away from dying. As
So, like,
Ultima Theory, it's still going to be so close.
Yep.
Can he make it?
Though I know you need more. Oh, and the D shield on. That doesn't.
Does
that actually helps.
slow down burning?
That doesn't slow down
actually
burning.
does
It just
slow down the burning.
did it.
So Stone Cold actually went back, got D-Matrix, and matrixed him to slow down the burning just enough to
Get him back.
I have to say, I hats off to Stone Cold. I did not know you could do that. That is the move of a pro player.
That is
Very
something
well
that
done.
that is something that I did not know as well, and I'm definitely going to keep it in my back pocket. So Stone, thanks. I'm going to remember this for next tourney.
So, we have lost a ship at 6 on 5. People
Let's-
are now probably wondering, what is the farm score? It is
check it out.
1475 for the red team and 1411 for the blue team. So still pretty even, but now the red team has taken a lead. And look at all of those corruptors push in on the left side.
So many corruptors.
Boy. So now here is where the gamble of this build and the gamble of that push onto the Guardian start to pay off. Luigi is up to 425 energy, but it's interesting, he's actually started to transition a little bit into a more standard levy comp, and he may decide just to use these corruptors to farm. Is that typically what you see with this build?
Yeah, generally that's what that's what I saw last time as well. The corruptors help get you the early farm advantage, and later on they help with the contain, but they are not the sole focus of the build. Mind you, this depends how the game plays out. Based on the almost near exchanges, Luigi may feel like he needs a bit more meat and a little bit more pushing power.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You know, they're short on tankiness in this build. They just have the Destro, so having a little bit tankiness and tentacles on the levy is going to help a lot. Warlaster is up to 12 interceptors, and he does have warp in and 275 energy.
Yeah, we haven't taken a look at the upgrades in a little while. Beggy still has the protective field. Existential just has plague and more energy, speed, and range. Admin 6 getting pounded by the ints. 9 tentacles on him now with the 300 energy. The Destros, what have we got? Pama has gone Bombard, as well as 6 armor, just 2 lasers. Gonna need to upgrade those lasers soon. Rebellions, again, double Bombard, basically, from the blue team. Ultimate Theory has Anabolic now and Parasite, so I was going to probably try to figure out what target is best for Parasite. In this case, since I'm not worried about Warlaster getting techs, perhaps put it on Luigi, since he will maybe the focus of a lot of Warp Trick.
There are a few different options there. There's Warlaster if you're worried about the techs. Luigi's going
Nice
to be the focus of
EMP
the
by
Warp Trick.
Riker.
Then you have Existential. If he ends up going Antenna, it's always great to get a Parasite on the Overlord. And then basically they have to choose, do I want to give this guy vision of the entire middle of the map, or am I actually just going to not even get Antenna and deny myself that vision?
Yeah, it's an interesting trade-off, because you have to, because that gives an advantage to the other team in a sense. So...
Okay, so the Parasite is off, and yes, it is on Riker. The
Raven.
The Raven, excuse me.
And that's tactically
I think
not a
that's
bad
pretty good
decision.
choice.
Yeah, because Ravens are usually dead center in the middle of the team anyways, and it's a ship that you would love to snipe off, especially because he can do D-Field, he can do Blackout, etc.
It's
Especially
also a ship that you want to stay away from and monitor your distance to in terms of energy denial. Stone Cold, if he's going to want to try to EMP without getting EMP'd, now he has the vision to do that.
Let's take another quick look at the farm count right now. So we've got 1920 farm from 3M, and we have 1780 farm from the Lions. So, but 200, almost a 200 farm lead by 3M. And that does not bode well, because support comp gets more farm than the other team. Interesting times and lots of spells thrown around. And Pamela's just trying to clean up the ints. Now they're
Okay,
level
we have
7
force field
corruptors.
from the Arbiter.
Level 7 corruptors on Luigi now, actually. So he's definitely going to try to use those corruptors aggressively.
Interesting. Okay,
That
you
wasn't
don't
what I was
often
expecting.
see that. Hold up, there's a little bit of action going on in the middle. Oh, people are
Oh,
targeting down
Beggy is
Beggy.
doing another one of his dives. But Riker is far behind, so he won't be able to give a D field
I
just
have
yet.
to say I don't agree with this. He should pull back. They
Too
are
risky.
on a course to win this game. They do not need a kill here.
I agree.
And Beggy, I think, understands that. Going back, he realizes we're ahead on farm, we're winning the pushes, and not only that, but we have the comp that is maturing and coming to fruition. We do not need a kill.
Nope, they've already got their extra. Already got their extra leg up advantage. But also take a look. They may actually have been intentional on Beggy. He may not have been. He may have just been inclined to put a ton of pressure on. That's his playstyle. He's a very aggressive Destro player and knows how to flirt the line with death. And when I say this, I really do mean it, as we saw in the other push.
That is true. Beggy is a Destro. You will see his E-shields popping in that game. That is the way he likes to play.
Which is totally fine. So Luigi's catching all the farm coming from the top end. So Luigi's going to get really fat very quickly now because his corruptors could just hang around forever. They're not going to get sniped out by the farm.
So I did want to comment on Bunny the Arb getting force fields. It's an interesting choice. I think they're looking at this at the enemy team's comp and they're saying, what is the DPS coming from? It's coming from the Levy and it's coming from the 11 spines right now. And force field can neutralize both of those. So I actually like that choice coming from Bunny. Not many people get force field, but in this situation, it's worth getting.
Force field placement's also key too. It's not as expensive as it's not as expensive as PDD. You can spam it.
That's right. It's only 50
I
since
see.
a couple patches ago.
And I just got a message from Mooney saying you can't use D field, or actually protective field, I'm using it wrong, when the destroyer has protective field on. Is
That's
that true?
right.
Okay, so that explains.
That is true, yeah.
So that's a trade-off too. When do you pop protective field, and when do you when do you do your protective field and your D shield?
You know, and it really depends on the kind of DPS that you have. I guess really, D-Matrix is the better spell.
Yeah, and I'm using D field and protective field and D matrix interchangeably. I think I'm just going to say the happy green. I'm going to say the happy green bubble, and the purple happy bubble instead.
We saw a game earlier in this tournament where it was a huge problem. The Destro popping the prot field when what he needed is the D-Matrix, and he ended up dying because of that. So it's a choice that you have to make.
And just for the newer players watching, I'm just covering over this. Protective field, it gives you extra armor and it reduces the overall damage. It doesn't block a nuke, but it does reduce the other mukes. Now, instead, what D-Matrix does is effectively it reduces each hit to 1 damage. So that's really useful if you have heavy interceptors on you, or even heavy bile or missiles.
Or mukes or anything except nukes.
Yeah.
The one thing is, and a lot of people don't know this actually, I'm surprised by how many people don't know this, but D-Matrix does leak damage. There's something like a 10% or so chance that each hit will go through. So you see people posting on the forums lately saying, a Muke went through D-Matrix and I died. Is that a bug? No, it's not a bug. It's part of the risk of this spell.
But it's still really effective regardless, especially with the cooldowns. Now we have a cooldown of 8 on D-Field, so Riker's going to be able to throw it down a lot more quickly. And with 450 energy, he can just put it on whomever he wants.
Nice timing.
Yep. Bunny warped in with just more energy. Warleister's now up to 17 ints. Existential has a siphon. I don't think he's been using it, though.
Bunny needs to get up there a little bit more and pop some more force fields. He's a little bit far from the action.
He's using his storm.
Oh, and then he stopped with the storm.
Bunny is the newer player on 3M, I believe, right? The inexperienced?
I believe so.
And Bunny, if you're not, I apologize. I don't know everybody in the start
I have
game.
played IHs before with Bunny, I'll say that much. So he's not a complete noob.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's played tourneys. Okay.
I was just going to take another look at the farm
Sure,
score.
go ahead.
is 26-65 on the red team versus 22-40 on the Protoss team. So the lead is starting to widen. And if we look at the individual ships, the Levy Admin 6 is at 640, and Luigi is at 680. So it's amazing, right? Just like we were talking before, he started out with half of the farm of the enemy Levy, and yet just like last game, once the team as a whole starts to take control and win the pushes, he is now caught up in more, as he's now in the lead.
And that's also the magic of corruptors. Initially, they don't give you a farm advantage, the early farm advantage, but later on, they really start to pay dividends because you're able to farm when you're not even present, and that's something that only the Leviathan can do. An carrier's still limited by where it can throw its interceptors, etc.
That's a great point. Yep. And you know, look at these corruptors. You're wasting their time. They want to clear them out. They don't want to let you farm. But that also means they're not pushing and farming.
Yep. And then it makes the other team react to you rather than set up their own plans. And that's really the key, just constantly applying pressure and making sure the other team reacts to what you do rather than dictating the game themselves. And Rebellions is sieging up in the middle with level 9 lasers. I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish.
This is a very interesting move. You know, I have to praise Rebellions for his unconventional play. Not too many people just siege up in the middle of the map, but if I had to guess, I think he's thinking something like, we're losing the push. I just need to siege up in the middle of the map and just help my team actually just farm on a simple push. Not using it to snipe anything, not using it to get a kill. But look at this. They're setting up with the broods. They have the siege. I think they're thinking, let's just hang out here and try to farm 5 ships on 6, but we can do it if we use this strategy.
Yep. And level 6 broods now from Ultima Theory. But Rebellions is definitely one of the best Destro players I've ever seen. I say Beggy's good and flirts with death, but Rebellions just dives in there like crazy.
There are a lot of great Destro players, and we saw some of that last game in terms of decision-making, but what I really love about Rebellions, and this really just shows a true elite player, is he does things like this that it's not a conventional strategy, but he knows the game so well to be able to judge and confidently say, this is what will help us right now. Whereas I think most people really are able to just kind of do what they've been told works. So that siege, I just want to comment, it's only at 9 lasers right now, which is, you know, it's not
bad
at this point in the game. It shows how many other things that he's gotten. He has repair bots, he has bombard.
He has 425 energy.
Pama, excuse me, also has bombard, and he's bombarding Luigi right now. And I said last game, Beggy is the only Levy I've ever seen get bioplasma discharge. Well, whoa, there's a vortex going off, and everybody is in it.
But what's the key thing is Luigi is right there, and I don't know how much energy he has.
I don't think Luigi is in any danger. He's near full life, and as I was about to comment, he has the bioplasma discharge muke, so he's going to really try to go for a kill here. No, he actually won't. They're just going to back off.
And when
I'm a little bit surprised. Look, they could... No,
and Luigi could just drop down the corruptors. Palma was ahead of the other team. Yep.
If they can take down Palma, Luigi can finish him off with a bioplasma discharge.
And there we go. There's the bioplasma.
He
put a D-shield.
He waited until the D-Matrix hit. Brilliant move. And he'll have just enough to get away, I think, with that emergency shields. But Rebellions will not. Rebellions is going down fast.
There he goes. Only 100 HP left. E-shield pop. Luigi's not going to be able to get another thing, so both Destros back by the skin of their teeth. Rebellion's made back with maybe 100 HP or less.
Well,
and Beggy Ice is not looking much better.
But it was a good guess, I'll put it that way.
Thanks, guys, for keeping us on our toes here as casters. We try to sound all smart and sophisticated. We're like, oh, this person's going to die, and this person's going to die. But no, you guys prove us wrong.
I have to there is a lot to love about 3M's play right now. I love the bioplasma discharge. I love the perfect timing of that, waiting to fire it until the D-Matrix actually is off so that you'll get the full damage when it actually gets there. Another pro move from Luigi, who really just knows his ship.
Yep. Though it's actually War who's actually captaining his team, though you can't tell. Luigi and War may be joint captaining, but sort of the way these 3 players synergize.
So we do have an observer up that Bunny has. I don't know who's
just noticed that.
Right now.
looks like it's just chilling out there, just going to provide a bit of vision close to the prisms, and that's fine because they don't have any. The other team doesn't have any detection, so just leave it there.
Well, they do have EMP, but the
Okay.
chances of just randomly finding an observer are extremely
Yeah.
low. Okay, look, we're getting a little bit of a warp trick going on here. Rebellions is at the bottom of the map, and everyone else is warping in. Admin 6 is not. Is he gonna?
It's really
gonna
it's really
I
hard to
guess he's
see the
gonna give
players
up a
with
little
elite
bit.
colors, I gotta say.
I know,
the
right?
the purple. Vortex
All
by
right.
Waralister, he got Panma,
Oh,
and
and
this
let's
is
see.
not
Is
good.
Admin 6 gonna warp in on this vortex? No, he's
Double
staying inside the
PDDs by
vortex.
Stone Cold trying to protect his team. Rebellion's is sieged up. Beggy's just getting in Rebellion's face saying, "Hey, I'm gonna get you." Rebellion's is getting out of there.
Uh,
That wasn't necessarily the best pace to siege up because now Rebellion's is caught behind the rest of his team.
Let's see what's
Stone
going to happen on
doesn't,
this push. It's actually Admin 6 that's vulnerable. If they can get a nuke off of him, he will go down.
but
And here's a
Bioplasmid from
high
Luigi.
charge. And that will go...
There is Admin 6.
Oh!
And there go the shields popping on Rebellions. Whilst they're trying to just get that last bit of HP gone, and he may actually be able to do it with his level 19 ints. Stone Cold doesn't have any shields to transfer, so I think Rebellions is going down.
Didn't cast the D-Matrix.
On Rebellions, you mean?
I thought he
Yeah,
was in
surprised.
range to cast the D-Matrix,
I
but he
think
went back. Maybe he was worried about the ints being
I think he
retargeted on
was.
him,
I
which
think
they
he
are
was.
now, and
There
now
we
both
go.
ships die,
And that's
GG.
yeah, that's the GG. Wow, gotta say this was a really interesting game.
Exceptional play by both sides. At the end, they did the warp trick, and you can say, well, they did the warp trick, it failed, they died. But you have to look, first of all, at the position that they were in. They were slowly losing this game on a comp that was just getting weaker and weaker versus a team that was farming more and more. I think you have to make that right move. You have to say, well, we can just stay in this game and slowly lose, or we can actually give ourselves a chance and win. And that was the right move to make at the time, but maybe they should have done it when they didn't have Vortex up.
Maybe. But still, regardless, it was entertaining. We had some heart attacks and all that. And you got to say that the core of each of these teams were on high-level teams in the Star Battle community, getting to the semifinals and grand finals of the last tournaments. So actually, we could expect this level of play from them. No, it doesn't quite live in the spirit of the Freelancer thing. Regardless, it's still educational and entertaining. And hey, we learned that trick about D-Matrix, Protective Field, and Stone Cold's trick.
Yes. Well, everyone did learn something. You're right. We would be remiss not to point out the little bit of controversy about the two teams in the finals, basically being the teams with noobs that aren't really noobs. But at the end of the day, at least what we're able to watch, what we're able to get out of this as spectators of Star Battle, to the extent that Star Battle is a spectator sport, is to see some really high-level play, and that's what we saw that game.
Yep, and we're hoping that Ladania and I are learning something, and I hope that all the rest of you guys watching are learning something too. So, in the spirit of that, I'm going to close out this recording, and we will catch you guys for Game 3.